Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, it's a nice day out. Yeah, right. Really, it's not. I'm your host, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed. It's Between Taorminas here on ON TV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina. And we got a guest this week. We got Mr. Bob Bridges as our guest this week. Bob, how are you doing?
Very good. Thank you, Ant.
Wonderful. We got Sammy and we got Ian here. Ian, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Sammy, how are you?
Horrible. Just horrible.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. So, why are you horrible? Ian wants to know why.
Because of him!
What happened?
What happened?
Because I've had a bad week because two things have happened to me. Two things!
Sammy, it's only the first segment. Bring it down a little bit.
Two things happened to me! I'd like to make a correction here, though. Technically, I think it's more than a bad week. I mean, in reality, this has been kind of like a bad month. I mean, the NCAA tournament kind of ran for a month, didn't it? Like 4 weeks long? Is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah? And your favorite team ended up where? Oh, that's right. They were in the championship game, right?
They're not my team!
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you.
They're not my team!
I see all these pictures of you wearing Michigan.
Because I lost wagers to two people. I lost to you, and I lost to Dan Haas. Mr. Haas, for the record, is the Scripps Middle School principal.
What a wise man.
And you are responsible for where I'm at right now. You are.
I find it amusing that I am responsible for
NCAA
tournament and. Oh, that's right. We haven't even gotten to his hockey team yet.
Yeah.
Who was supposedly going to win Stanley Cup, right, Ian?
Since 1999.
That's what I keep hearing.
One and done. That's the only time they've done it. And what happened? Every year since, another disappointing hockey season. Mostly with your athletes, your players you love so much on the golf course in April. That's pathetic.
Are you saying I'm pathetic?
I'm saying you and most of the teams you root for are pathetic. And I asked you to get help before with these wagers. When is it going to add up, man?
Yeah, it's true. You
right.
did ask that. You're all right.
We can roll that footage back. I asked him, you need to check in. They have places for you. You get some
There
help.
have been a few episodes
You won't
we've
be
had
able
that,
to take
yes.
bets. You'll come in. You'll have some group time. You'll talk about nice, healthy things that aren't wagers on losing teams. If you start placing bets on the Cleveland Indians, I'm going to take you there myself. I'm going to do
I am
it.
placing bets on the Indians.
Oh,
I think
God.
I'm confident in the Cleveland Indians. So, but let's talk about the
you're reduced to
Michigan
betting on
Wolverines in
Cleveland.
the national championship game. What was your take on that? Horrible. Because here's why. Because that team, that M, did not deserve to get to the national championship game. You want to know why they went to the national championship game? Because they were lucky. They are the luckiest team on the planet. They are lucky that they didn't have to play Virginia, who was upset by the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. They were lucky that they did not have to play the top team in the bracket, which is Xavier, So, and they were lucky they didn't have to play North Carolina, because if North Carolina would have played them, if North Carolina played Michigan, North Carolina beats them handily. But instead, Michigan took advantage of luck, of Lady Luck, got the Final Four. I thought Sister Jean was going to beat them, but it did not happen. But thankfully, Michigan got what they deserved against mighty Villanova. Now, I'm very disappointed in my beloved Michigan State Spartans because of what happened against Syracuse, which I blame Bob Bridges for that because I heard a rumor that he motivated the Syracuse Orange to beat my Spartans. Bob, you got a response to all this.
So let me ask you a question, first and foremost. If you cannot control the teams that get beat in front of you, how is that luck? if those teams were so good, why did they get beat in the first place before they ever got to play Michigan?
Because they underestimated their previous opponents.
Okay, so the question is this: if they underestimated, apparently Michigan didn't. So that to me, that would mean that's a good thing. That means my coaching staff that I root for was doing a good job of understanding the competition they were getting ready to play and understanding how to beat those teams moving forward. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, and they granted they played 2 11 seeds, I get it, but one of the 11 seeds was in the Final Four. So apparently they had beaten a ton of teams in front of them. Now, if I go back to the very first round, first weekend, your team played a 10 seed. Is that correct?
I played a 14 seed.
Oh, no, you played a
14
14
and
first,
then an 11.
But then you played an 11 seed.
Yeah.
Correct. Excuse me. So you played an 11 seed in Syracuse.
Yeah.
So technically, you got lucky that you didn't have to face the team that they beat, right?
You know,
because
you know what? There's a difference here.
Well,
you didn't have to deal with a team that had to play a straight-out 2-3 zone, a lengthy 2-3 zone, and basically played really good defense.
Sam, I'm a Spartan fan, but they were the last team in the tournament.
Thank you.
They were a play-in game in Dayton. They're
They
terrible.
played 3
The
games
Spartans
in
should
6
never have
days.
lost to Syracuse.
I know.
In
it's-
Detroit.
I know.
I was there. I sat right behind the Spartan bench. Legitimately, I was right behind the Spartan bench. As a matter of fact, I was sitting as close to Mark D'Antonio as I am to Ian right now. That's where Mark D'Antonio, and I was sitting right here, and the bench was right there. And I'm going to tell you what, I've never seen a more unmotivated team take the floor at that point. So if that's so you got lucky that you didn't play the higher seed, and maybe you would have lost by more. Yes? Is that what you're calling lucky? Because Michigan played the teams that were in front of them. Granted, they got beat in the championship game, but I'll tell you this much right now. Props to Villanova. They were very, very good. They probably have 3 or 4 NBA players on that roster. The DiVincenzo kid, the kid they're calling the Michael Jordan of Delaware, that kid was crazy. 31 points in the final, MOP for the tournament.
And a bench player.
And he's a 6th man.
Looked like Steph Curry.
He did. He could hit it from anywhere. And we were D'ing him up 30 feet from the rim, and he was still dropping shots.
Give him credit.
Sam, just say Michigan, they had a good year. It's not like, this is Beeline, first off. Beeline, there's some respect there. It's not like saying you have to, like, kiss Jim Harbaugh's feet. Because, that, I understand, is a lot tougher.
Mark D'Antonio is better coach than Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, and we can say at this point, Beeline might be better than Izzo a little bit.
It's hard for him.
At this
Right
point,
now,
Today,
that's the truth.
this is the second Final Four in the last 5 years.
give him props.
And look at the talent Izzo had and the product they had. It's bad. It's bad. You got to give it up, man.
All right.
Totally agree.
All right. Well, the second subject why you're upset is
That was only the first? Oh, man.
You
That was
have
just the first
said-
piece.
you have said as you said on the show, you've said on Twitter, you've said it in front of people's faces. You said that the Dallas Stars were going to win the Stanley Cup. Now they're going to miss the playoffs. How do you feel about that? Or let's ask Bob how he feels about that.
Well, I'm actually kind of happy, first and foremost. 2 years ago, I was on the show, and we were discussing the NHL playoffs, which was the last time the Stars actually made the playoffs. And I believe I sat right here and I said the Stars will lose in the second round to the St. Louis Blues.
Yes, you did.
And you know what happened? The Stars lost in the second round to the St. Louis Blues. They dusted off their golf clubs and went right back to what they're doing best, is playing a lot of golf in April. And here they are again, playing a lot of golf in April. So I figured out what the issue is, though. So the Stars have been trying to navigate their way to the playoffs by following stars, like the ancients would have. They're trying to navigate by the stars. The problem is they keep following the falling ones. So all these falling stars, and they just keep following them off the end of the earth, and they don't make the playoffs. I don't know what happens, but it was really, really a pleasure.
They got to get back to the North Stars, man.
Horrible. Okay.
I don't even know if they were that good.
I had an
No,
eight-game losing streak, and it was all your fault.
Because I played those games. I'm sure of it.
You motivated those 8 teams that beat me. You did.
Can I ask a question here? How many of you know that Sammy is a big Canadian guy? He likes Canada.
Loves Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So out of those 8 games, 5 in a row were to Canadian teams.
Boy.
So shouldn't he have been happy?
Should be.
I mean, the
You
Canadian
would
teams
think.
were winning.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he was miserable. I didn't understand that for the life of me. I don't understand how you could be such a Canada person and Canadian teams are winning and you decide, I'm not happy anymore.
They're doing what they do best. Canadians are hockey people. Dallas, Texas, they're not hockey people. You know? It
I'll
just
tell you.
the stars
I'll
are
tell you
aligning.
what next year.
You would say.
The
Oh, here
Dallas
we go
Stars
again.
are going to win a Stanley Cup next year.
Would you like to bet on that?
guarantee it.
Would you like to bet
You're
on that?
guaranteeing?
I am guaranteeing on this show the Dallas Stars in 2018-2019 is winning the Stanley Cup.
Okay, I like his idea. I think if we're going to go ahead and throw guarantees down here, maybe we should have a little motivation in the game. And
Maybe
I will
you're
take the
losing it.
field with Ian. Ian and I will take the field. Now listen, we'll take the
The
field.
field.
You take the
Dallas.
Stars. And if the Stars actually win, Ian and I will wear Stanley Cup Dallas Stars gear.
I will get a Dallas Stars tattoo.
There you go.
That's
If
that's
they
how
don't,
confident I
however,
am.
I think you should show up in Red Wing gear for a week.
Oh, no.
For a
What
week.
do you think? I think it's a great idea.
And you have to paint the Wings logo maybe on your forehead, like the kids do.
We'll just
or
get you
maybe
a
on your
sticker.
cheek.
We'll give them a
yeah,
sticker.
maybe a sticker.
We'll just
would
give them
be
a
good.
sticker. I think that's a good idea.
Sam.
I think everybody should line up to tell Sammy that that's a great bet.
And this is a good learning lesson for you as well.
You would think that he'd learned his lesson by now, but he hasn't.
That's true. That's
But-
true.
Are you saying I haven't learned my lesson?
Did you just
exactly-
Are
guarantee
you
this?
saying?
Did you just
Are you
guarantee?
saying? Because next year I will. I say next year my Dallas Stars are gonna be a better team. They're gonna be better. They're gonna address their second line scoring. They're gonna get a backup goalie who doesn't give up at least 5 goals a night. You know, had not been Ben Bishop not gotten hurt, you know what? I'm in the playoffs.
Did you guarantee a Stanley Cup win? Did you just guarantee It's on tape. We can roll it back. I'm pretty sure we can do that. Did you just guarantee a Stanley Cup to the Dallas Stars
Next year.
next year? Then you
Yes!
Then you for sure have not learned your lesson.
All right, so any final thoughts, Sammy?
I will win a Stanley Cup next year, and the Stars will be back. Because I'm telling you right now, my empire's gonna come back, and it's gonna be your empire. Because my empire is better than yours.
Ian, any final thoughts on this?
Are you going down for the 20th anniversary celebration of the Stars' last cup next year?
Bob, any final thoughts?
I'm waiting to hear the answer to his question. I think that's a great question. I think you just put a little shrine up or something for, hey, woo, 20 years ago we won one. And our only one, by the way, just FYI.
If I ever go to Dallas, Texas, you know what? I'm gonna invite Victory Green to come here to meet you.
I have explained to you my thoughts on your Victor E. Green.
Victory Green in a glorious
And this
person.
is a family show, so I'm not going to go any further
Yeah.
than just that.
We don't air after 10 here.
Yeah,
We're in prime time.
Exactly.
So.
I would just say this. Based on your past performance in the Stanley Cup playoff hunt that you haven't even got to in the last couple of years, my guess is you're probably not winning the Stanley Cup again next year. As a matter of fact, I think I told you the other day, they may look at dismantling some of the pieces of this team after they went for it this last year and they added a bunch of free agents. They may look at getting rid of some pieces and actually trying to rebuild so that they can move forward in a Stanley Cup role.
Jim Nill's a Detroit guy. Maybe
I
he
agree.
might match what Detroit's doing.
Greatest player the Stars ever had was a Detroit guy,
Madonna.
Madonna.
There you go.
That's it.
All right, we'll be
welcome.
right back with Between Taorminas here on ON TV.
The North Oakland Household Hazardous Waste Program kicks off its 2018 season with an event at Oxford Middle School on Saturday, April 28th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Volunteers will be on hand to collect cleaners, paint, bleach, batteries, antifreeze, motor oil, electronics, and more. The event is free for residents of Lake Orion. Collection events will also take place at Oakland University on June 23rd, North Sashabaw Elementary School in Clarkston on July 28th, Oakland County Service Center campus in Pontiac on September 8th, and Oakland Community College Highland Lakes campus in Waterford on October 13th. For a complete list of acceptable items and other information, visit nohaz.com or call their hotline at 248-858-5656.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Miserable.
Miserable?
Because these two had a nice time insulting my sports empire. Especially this one.
Well, maybe you can get some redemption this next segment. We're talking about the Tigers right now. They're 0-4.
No, 1-4.
Okay, they're 1-4.
1-4 right now. Yep.
Well, I told Ian Weatherspoon Ron Gardenhire is a perfect fit for this team, but the Tigers, they can't hit. I mean, even in great starts by Fulmer and Matthew Boyd, they can't hit. And then, of course, it tells me that the Tigers, they're in so much trouble. Al Vila should be fired. And if you really want to bring a championship team to Detroit, you got to clean house. And Bob, you know this. I know this. The whole world knows it. The Cleveland Indians are going to win the Central.
Bob, would you like to respond?
As far as the hitting goes, you're 5 games in. The first game you scored 10 runs, 4 in the bottom of the ninth to tie it up. I mean, I don't think that's a non-hitting team. I think
6
we played
runs twice.
6 runs twice.
It's been nothing above 50 degrees.
Or nothing above like 40 degrees, really. I mean, the last 3 days,
No.
right? I mean, we played the Royals, and then the other 2 games against
Pirates.
the Pirates were both in like 35-degree weather. And the game that Matthew Boyd threw, I mean, there was a great commentary on the game afterwards about a lot of the hitters were just going up and trying to swing as quickly as they could so they get back to the dugout.
2-hour and 17-minute baseball game.
That's fast.
That's
That
quick.
does not happen.
Right. But, I mean, I'm actually energized by the fact that Zimmerman actually did not look horrible on secondarily opening day.
Right, yeah.
I thought Fulmer looked like Fulmer. And then, Matthew Boyd came out and threw. And the other thing, too, was our bullpen guy, Wilson, came out twice. I thought he looked really good. Our bullpen has been suspect over the last few years. I think we've all known that. Do I expect the Tigers to win the division? No. But do I expect a little bit more than I thought they were going to at the beginning of the season? Yeah. Cleveland should win the division.
If they don't, that is hugely disappointing.
It is disappointing. I mean, the Twins had a pretty good run last year. I wouldn't expect that again this year. I wouldn't think that that's a repeat.
Yeah.
The Royals lost 6 guys off of that squad. The White Sox might have an outside shot at it. I think they actually were starting to come on and do the right things with some of the young talent they had. But I think it's all about pitching for them, and they got rid of Chris Sale already. So, we'll see.
Quintana's gone, yeah.
Yeah, Quintana's gone. So Cleveland should win the Central. If they don't win the Central, I think it's up for grabs. I mean, remember, everybody plays everybody 19 times. So, where's that going to finish?
And looking at, okay, so Cleveland wins the Central, big deal. Who are they going to get by in the playoffs? They didn't make any improvements in the offseason. And they lost, what's his name?
Well, Houston didn't make any improvements.
Houston
Carlos
did.
Santana.
Baloney.
Houston got Garrett Cole.
Oh, yeah, take it back.
And look
Garrett
at the
Cole.
team they had. They're young, man.
How much did they really need to improve?
And they have
they won the World
Verlander a
Series.
full year? I mean, come on now.
New
Look at
York
the
improved.
Yankees. Look at their lineup.
I know.
Look at that bullpen coming back.
Boston improved.
Boston improved. They're still young as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the Tigers are not a top 5 team.
No
No, they're
kidding.
I don't think anybody said that, though.
I don't think that.
They are not.
I don't think- yeah. Where are you going with this? Because I don't think anybody on this side of the table, once again, you're kind of out there on your own little island, but that's fine. We're used to that. Nobody on this side of the table ever said the Tigers were a top 5. We just said, hey, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be for the first 5 games, considering we played in sub-freezing temperatures and actually looked not too bad. We scored 1 run.
You're
and
1
0
and
runs.
4. You're 1 and 4.
Okay. Your point being what?
You tell me, you have a losing record.
Sam, we got the first pick in the draft, baby. We know we're going to be bad. Okay? We know
It's
it. You
true.
can't expect a 90-win ball club here.
You're gonna have at least. You're gonna only win maybe 60 games.
That's fine. Then we'll get the #1 pick again.
Yeah, but you're gonna. Yeah, but you can't rely on a team that has #1 picks every year. Look at the perfect example. Look at
Houston?
the Edmonton Oilers. Look at the Edmonton Oilers.
They're
every
Edmonton.
time they
They're
have
bad.
#1 pick, they fail. They are a failing franchise with a bunch of #1 picks.
They have a history of that, though.
Yeah. But and let me the Edmonton Oilers, when did they get a baseball team?
I do not recall them ever
I
playing
don't ever
baseball,
recall
actually.
that.
Did the Houston Astros have a lot of #1 picks?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, really.
They
And what did
drafted
they
at the
just
top
do
of the
last year?
They won a World Series.
They won the World. Oh, that's right. They won a World Series with a bunch of number 1 picks. Oh, that's how it's amazing how that works. I mean, it's, sometimes you get so far out there that we try and reel you back gently, but
Rope ain't long enough on that life
the
vest,
rope
man.
is not long. That's a great analogy. Is the rope's not long enough?
Sam, come on. Just join us on shore, would you? Come on. We got towels, nice and warm. Dry you off, get you a bite to eat.
The Tigers are done for. We all know that.
It could, look, man,
done
they
for.
could have some parts to trade off. Let's say some guys
You
are
know
hitting
what?
well.
I said this to Pat Caputo. You know what? If the Tigers are near 500 or above 500, have a chance at this division, you know what? Then keep those pieces. You don't need to sell them off, you know what I mean, to get younger. That's why Al Vila is a failure. Al Vila is a failure of a general manager. He needs to go, and that team needs to clean house again.
I think this segment was supposed to only be 6 minutes. That's correct.
All right. We'll be right back with Between Taorminas here on ONTV.
We got to work Sam a little bit here in the break.
Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Hello, Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina talking OAA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OAA Now. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good.
I think we're all doing better than Sammy. Can we say we agree to that?
He's like the weather, man. He's just cloudy. He's just in a
Stormy.
haze. He's not here today.
All right, let's talk about the Masters this weekend. Golf, the Masters this weekend. Sammy,
Dilly-dilly.
I know that this is a...
Oh, whoops.
You know you can't say that,
You gotta
right?
take me out here now,
Did you
I
see
guess,
that
huh?
came out?
Yeah, I know.
There's a whole list of words you cannot say at the Masters this weekend.
No.
Or they're going to throw you out of the
Yeah.
friggin' park.
Wow.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can't say that this weekend. Sammy, what's your take about the Masters?
First of all, whoever denounced that should be fired. And then whoever announced that you can't say those words should be fired. Anyway, my pick to win the Masters is Rory. Actually, I got two golfers I'm keeping an eye on this weekend. Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth. You know why? Now, people are all high on the Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, love fest. But you know what? Jordan Spieth has done very well lately. And so has Rory. So those are my two I'm watching. If I had to pick somebody to win it, it would be Jordan Spieth.
You just said 5 minutes ago that Rory was going to win. Now,
It's going to be between Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy. It's going to come down to a playoff.
But one of those is going to definitely win.
One of them's going to win.
Okay.
That's the Tiger Woods story. Do you expect Tiger Woods to do well at the Masters?
I think the interesting part headed into the Masters this weekend, especially, is how many people are playing well. I mean, literally, Mickelson's won. Tiger's finished T2, twice. He finished top 5 3 times. Jordan Spieth has played well. Rory won 2 weeks ago. Yes, right? Or, 2 weeks ago, because Ian Poulter won the last week to get into the Masters. But I mean, you're talking about all these guys that have won and are playing really well. And I think the guy, in my opinion, I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think he'll have a good showing. The guy that everybody is not talking about this week is a guy who last year hurt his ankle, and had to withdraw from the Masters, and that's Dustin Johnson. I mean, he's still the number 1 golfer in the world, right? I mean, he's still number 1.
Yes.
And he has the length to master that course. I think he has the game to play that course. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I'm hoping it's a bunched up leaderboard on Sunday, and that the back 9 is really something to go ahead and be a part of. I mean, you get some must see TV back to the days. I agree with you, though, on the whole love fest thing between Tiger and Phil. I mean, have you seen that this week?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to see, in my opinion, when it gets down to it, I mean, these guys are, Woods 42 and 47 for Mickelson. 10 years from now, when those guys are in their mid to late 50s, are they the next Jack and Arnie? Seriously, think about that. Are they the next two that move on to that piece that carried the mantle for so long, and now they move into the senior golf status? And then, I mean, let's face it, Jack Nicklaus is in his 80s. Gary Players is in his 80s. When those guys move on, are Tiger and Phil the next two that take their spot?
And maybe for an entertaining senior open next few years.
And it will be. But as far as the Masters go, I agree with you, man. I'm looking forward to must-see TV on Sunday, that back nine. I hope it's bunched up, 5 or 6 guys in, back and forth.
You know what I'm hoping for is you get at least 8 guys golfing, like at least at 10 under par. That would be great.
I don't think you're going to get 10 under, though. I mean,
8 guys.
Yeah, you're not, especially 10 under. Somebody that's at 10 under, they're probably winning it. I mean, legitimately, 4 or 5 under is typically a good winning score.
How important though is it for the ratings for how important is it for the Masters that all those golfers we talked about do well?
I don't know. The Masters is always going to get ratings. Yeah. I think the interesting part for me was this: the Valspar Open, okay, which nobody knows of, right? Tiger Woods is in contention. The Valspar has the highest ratings it's ever had. Why? Because of one guy. All right. And as much as he might have a checkered past and nobody really is looking at it and saying, hey, this is our guy, he is golf.
Oh, his talent, yeah.
I mean, and the way that he has come across in interviews lately, the way that he's presented himself and started doing things within the community as far as golf goes, we're really starting to see people turn to, hey, I like Tiger now. And I think that, I know it's hard to say, but it's happening. You're starting to see a human side of Tiger.
Yeah. Well, you battle those
Tiger's
injuries
really-
like that,
I think
that might
Tiger's
humanize you a
really-
little bit.
I think Tiger's really matured his life. You know what I mean? Especially with what he's went through. Basically, what he has done. I mean, to overcome his problems. Basically to get back to this point. And and it took work for him. It took a lot of work for him to get through this. I mean, it would. I think. When you look at the Masters, I think this is must-see golf, and I agree with you. I think this is going to be a must-see event, you know what I mean? But, it wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know what the weather forecast is saying for the next few days, but I think that's going to be very important, but especially with all the changes they made, especially with those added trees at Augusta. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
You guys, any final thoughts on the Masters?
I got Jordan Spieth winning the Masters and wearing the green jacket. And he's a Texan.
I can't give you a winner. I just hope Sunday afternoon's a good one.
I agree with you, and I wanted to see a competitive Masters.
I'm looking forward to the Masters. I think it'll be great. Well, that will do it for this episode of Between Taorminas. We'd like to thank Bob for coming on. Bob, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
He ruined my sports life!
It's all your fault, Sam.
All right, so
Can't
that'll
blame
do
anyone
it for
else.
this episode of Between Taorminas. We'll see you. Have a great night, and see you soon, Lake Orion. Take care.